So hey, welcome back to the channel, and on tonight's video we're actually riding the 850 Sport from Triumph. So this bike's been kindly lent to me by Triumph UK, so thank you very much before we start. And let's give you a little bit of a walk round of the bike and just talk about some of the specs on this machine. This is the 850 Sport, and the bike either comes in this, the 850, or you can get the 900 version. This is the latest model, it's the 2021 version, and this bike comes in at £9,400, whilst the 900 version starts at £11,500. So you've got about a £2,100 difference between the two. The engine on this bike is an 888cc, as with the 900 version as well. The only difference is that the torque and the bhp are slightly down by about 10 bhp at 84 brake horsepower, and that's made at 8,500 rpm. And then you got the torque, which is 82 newton meters, and that comes in at 6,500 rpm. So seat height on this bike, I've got it in the low setting just now. It's a lovely comfy seat, one of the comfiest I've ever sat on, and this is the standard seat, as is the pillion seat. Just at the back you can see here loads of padding, and also we've got the top box with the rack on this bike, so it's great for pillions to lean back on. You've got some nice pillion foot pegs, nice rubberized pads on them, as with the others. But yeah, the rider's foot pegs you can take out, also the rubbers, and then you've got the serrated jaggy bits to give you plenty of grip, as with the rear brake lever as well. Underneath you've got a belly pan to stop any stones or any rocks hitting it and damaging the bottom of the engine. You've got a lovely trellis frame and a rear subframe that also you can take off, so if you were to crash and bend the subframe on the rear, you could replace that. Obviously it's a triple engine, so you've got the triple pipes coming down into one, into the catalytic converter, and then into not a huge pipe, but it doesn't look out of place on the actual bike itself, and it gives kind of a twin sound because the actual engine firing order is 312, so it sounds more in keeping with a twin than a triple engine, but you still get that whistle that comes from it, so it's really quite nice. So the suspension on this bike is non-adjustable on the front, and you have to go up to the 900 versions to get adjustable suspension, but this one comes on Marzocchi, if I pronounce that right. These are 43mm forks, and you've got 7 inches of travel on the front. On the rear you have a remote adjustable shock. Again, it's a Marzocchi shock. This is preload only, and it's got 6.7 inches of travel. So for off-road as well, it's quite capable. The tyres on the bike are the Anarchies, so we've just got the Michelin 150/70 on the rear. That, by the way, is on a 17-inch wheel. And then again the Anarchies on the front, and this is a 19-inch wheel. Brakes on the bike, well, you don't get any better with Triumphs, they all come with good brakes. So if you look on the front here, we've got braided stainless steel lines with a plastic coating on, which are brilliant. But you've also got the Stylema calipers, 320mm discs on the front, a lot of stopping power, twin discs, and then on the back you've got Brembo single piston, and this is on a 255mm disc. ABS front and rear as well. You've got traction control. Dry weight of this bike is 192 kilograms, so not too heavy. You've got a 20-litre fuel tank, and this brings about 55 miles per gallon. So on the front you've got the DRL just there, you can see, and you've got twin LED headlights as well. So the screen itself is adjustable. I think it's on the highest setting, and I'll show you that. LED indicators. You've got the Brembo master cylinder with reservoir, and also fully adjustable brake lever, and also fully adjustable clutch lever, which is cable. So as I sit on the bike, you've got this wonderful dash that starts up, goes through a sequence. You've got Triumph, and then it goes to good afternoon, Tiger. So on the screen you've got road and rain, and also a lot of different configurations of different styles of screen, how you want it set up. You can change it to either of the four, and also you can change the colors as well. So as I mentioned, the screen, so it's basically one hand, you can do it while you're riding along. You just push it down into the position that you would like it, and it goes through certain notches all the way up to the high position. Switch gear is quite tactile. You've got the what I call the micro switchy indicators, but they are self-cancelling, which is great. A lot of people get confused with the thumbs going from the joystick to the actual indicators, and then you've got a horn, you've got the mode button, and then your headlights, and also a flash. On this side you've got hazard warning lights, you've got your start stop, and then your home button. Fuel tank is just a normal gas cap on this one. But yeah, the 850 Sport, there's no quick shifter up and down, it's manual, obviously, clutch on this. I'm not sure if it's an accessory or whether you get the quick shifter, which I would imagine you get on the 900 GT versions and also on the Rally Pro versions. Now the tyres, as I mentioned, are the Anarchies on here. This bike really is set up sort of 80-20, so 80% road, 20% off-road. And while the tyres are quite capable, I'm not sure, especially in UK, with green lanes that are not open to the public, most of them. There are some, but you've got to travel to get to them, where you can take motorcycles down. So how often would you be taking the bike off-road anyway? So I think this bike pretty much competes with things like the Yamaha 9 Tracer, the Tracer 9. You've got the F750 GS from BMW. You've also got the KTMs, the 890s and things, but they're a bit more of an off-road bike really, whereas this is more of an adventure tourer, and it's perfectly capable for those type of things. I think if I was to test this with the 900 back-to-back, yes, it would be nice to have cruise control, which you get on the 900 version. Adjustable suspension. Having ridden this for the last hour, I can happily say that I would be perfectly happy with this bike. It's capable, it's got everything you would need. The suspension feels plush, and yeah, I think if it was my bike, maybe I wouldn't put the Anarchies on it, because I only really ride on the road and do some touring. Maybe I'd put some Pirelli Angel GTs on, or something like that, which would make it corner better and also a bit more road focused. So let's get back on the bike and continue looking for a off-road section today. So I think if you were touring with this bike and you were looking to take a pillion passenger, I think it would be pretty much the perfect bike. So I remember I mentioned in another video that I actually took an Explorer, I think it was a 1200, quite an old one actually, from Raceways at Fleetwood, and I didn't quite gel with it. It wasn't to be, I'm afraid. But Triumph have certainly taken things to the next level with these bikes, and from the ground up, all new. They really have done a wonderful job. Now, the only thing I can compare it to, which is one I've ridden in the past and I actually owned, was the Tracer 900. So I toured with the Tracer through Switzerland, Austria, France, Germany, did the Black Forest on it, and it was an awesome bike, don't get me wrong, but it was just lacking a little bit of finesse, and I think with the Triumph they've really nailed it. This is more refined, better built, so the engine's really comparable with the Tracer 900, with them both being around the same cc, and also the Yamaha's a triple as well, but this engine is definitely better, or it feels it anyway, just from what I can remember. So I just need to spin round here, because I think I've just passed the green lane that I was going to suss out. The guy on the bicycle must think I'm mad going back and forward. So let's have a look, have a read of this. Now I did look online, it's a public byway. Please be aware that this land is privately owned. Follow the country code, leave gates and property as you find it, consider others. So let me get my phone out and I'll just see whether this is the one. And if it is, it looks alright actually. So we might just attempt it tonight. So having just checked the map, it looks like it's the right path. So let's head down it. By the way, I'm sporting the new Merlin boots and also the new Merlin gloves. And what I like about these gloves, apart from the colour, that they match the boots because they're both made from the same company. I'll put links to these in the description below. But they've also got the little plastic section on the palm here, so when you do fall off, or if you do fall off, that's the part you always put down first. And if it wasn't there, your hand would just grip and then break bones, so it's made to slide. So I'm really taken with these gloves. They're really comfy, nice supple leather. Okay, and I'm happy I've got my vented jacket on tonight. So anyway, let's head up this road. What I will do is I'll get up on the pegs, stand up on this bike and see how it feels for ergonomics really. I've heard reports that the bars are a little bit low, but there is some adjustment. You can actually lift them up slightly. So let's see how we get on. I'm not an off-road expert, so if you're leaving any comments which are not pleasing below, then I probably won't answer them. But anyway, let's see how capable it is. So stood up, my arms are slightly bent really, so it's quite rocky, as you can see coming down here. Got a pheasant on the trail just in front of me. Now it has been raining recently. Get over these rocks. So lots of pheasants, or something. They're not pheasants, what are they? Come on, out the way. Bit of a steep hill coming up. Not sure whether it's picking it up on the camera, but the bike seems to be taking it in its stride. It's getting a little bit overgrown just here. A few midges out tonight, but the tyres, the Anarchy tyres, seem to be coping very well. Not having any ground clearance problems. Not sure how long this trail is. Make sure I don't clout myself in the face with a branch. I'm just taking it nice and steady. But yeah, I think this is my first time green laning, off-roading. Yeah, it's pretty easy really. This section's not too bumpy. Oh, a little bit of a slide on that. I'd like to do more off-roading actually, and I know Triumph have just set a new off-road centre up, I think it is, in conjunction with somebody. So I'd like to get an invite, Triumph, and go down and have a play, experience that a little bit. So I'm going to sit down actually, because being so tall at 6'2", I'm having to duck down for these damn trees. I don't suppose anyone's cutting this back, but it's a little bit overgrown just here. Not sure if anyone uses this lane. I would imagine the farmers probably, but there's not much room if anyone comes the other way. So I'm hoping it opens up a little bit, which it looks like it's doing just here. I mentioned the throttle. Now I'm in actually road, I'm not in rain, and the throttle is lovely and smooth. I'm only in first gear, so I'm not going daft. The last thing I want to do is drop a Triumph bike that they've lent me. So I'm not yet as good as Vanessa Rook. She needs to come and teach me a little bit how to off-road. Okay, so we're on a bit wider road now. Opens up a little bit, and then I think we're meeting the other bit of the road here. So a little bit of off-roading. Yeah, quite enjoyed that. So, not sure where this road goes to, but it must lead somewhere. So let's have a look down here. Can anyone tell me what these birds are? They're not quail or anything, are they? Not sure what they are. Old cows in the pen, going for milking. Yes, I'm glad I found that trail. It would be a shame to take this bike out and actually not ride a trail. When I looked online, and it showed in green actually around this area, so there was only two near me. So as you can see, when you are looking to do a bit of off-roading, then there's not many places really, so you know, the 80/20 tyres are probably good enough for what you'd need. And even though the rocks were quite slippy, the back end was sliding a little bit, I was applying the rear brake. There was no intervention coming on from the rear brake, which was quite nice. So yeah, standing up wasn't an issue, and I'm quite long-legged, so I think the shorter rider would have a better time really. My arms at times going over those rocks were at full reach. Be them Arnside. Arnside? Okay, let's go Arnside. Arnside by the sea. You've got a great chippy at Arnside. I'm sure a lot of you already know that if you've been. I'll stop on the front of Arnside and I'll show you the new boots. So yeah, I have Freddie Dobbs. Actually, if you type him into YouTube, DOBBS, and Freddie, spelled FREDDIE. And if you head to his channel, you'll see he rides an old Bonneville, and his partner films most of the time. And he does go through his gear at the end of the videos, and I noticed some pieces like the Merlin gloves and the Merlin boots that I bought, actually I really liked. So I went ahead and bought them. And then I noticed again he was wearing a really nice textile jacket. It's actually black, but it's like a wax effect on it. Looks a bit like leather, and that was from RST. I'll put links in the description below if you want to go and check them out, guys. But really good kit, not expensive, and quite pleased. So when we get to Arnside Prom, I'll hop off the bike and I'll show you the boots and gloves, and the wax jacket. You'll have to wait for another video, and I'll wear that in that and show you it as well. So I'm steaming up a bit, just coming past Arnside Station, and I'll point the chippy out when we get further ahead. Just on the left there was the chip shop. There's a car park just on the beachy bit just here, where you can go and eat your fish and chips. And then you've got the Yield Fighting Cocks on your left hand side, the pub. And then there's another good pub further up. So Arnside by the sea. Looks like the sea is either going out or coming in. Nice pie shop on the left just here. The bakehouse. It's a lovely evening. It'll be a nice sunset later on. Look at that for a view. Beautiful. That's where the train comes over from Grange-over-Sands, just over the other side there. And you can get the train over to Arnside or vice versa. Got the train just heading over to Grange-over-Sands there. And yeah, let's have a look at the Merlin gloves, shall we? So these are the gloves. You've got nice brown leather, very soft and supple. You've got some knuckle protectors, quite breathable, so summer gloves. And then you've got the plastic section on the bottom of your palm just there to protect you from the road. But yeah, Merlin, not sure which model they are, but I'll put them in a description below. Again, the Merlin boots, they've got a zip entry on the side. I hate lacing boots up and off, but yeah, these are quite nice. And they're the Merlin boots, size 11, big foot. But they've got this lovely zip on the side, which makes it easy getting on and off. And they've got extra protection on the toes, reinforced. They've got heel guards and ankle guards on them, but I quite like those. So again, I'll put a link in the description below. But yeah, just at lovely Arnside, next to the sea. Lovely spot to come, especially at sunset. And so what better place to come and take the Tiger 850 Sport for a ride? Absolutely cracking bike. So if you're in the market for a new adventure bike, then definitely worth a test ride. Get down to your local dealer and take one of these out. I would recommend ride the 850 Sport first and then take out the 900 and see which one suits you best. But yeah, lovely bike. And what I'm going to do now is just head towards Grange-over-Sands, all the way across that bay, but round the bay, not across it, and head over to my sister's and grab a coffee. Okay, so I've put the screen up to its highest point, and I've also changed the seat back up to its highest position, which suits me best with being 6'2" and a lanky bugger. So I'm also hoping that the new mic setup is working and you can hear my voice perfectly well. I've actually gone away from plugging the mic straight into the Osmo Action, and basically what I've done is I've got a radio mic setup going on. I did a quick test with it the other day and it worked perfectly, so hopefully it's come out okay on the video. The standard mic that you plug into the Action or even a GoPro always makes your voice sound a little bit muffled inside the helmet, whereas you've got more adjustability and a little bit clearer through the radio mics. And the one I'm using is a Synco, if anyone's interested. They've just brought a new one out with a screen on the front to see all the levels and everything. And they're not expensive. It's only about £130 for a transmitter and a receiver. It comes in a nice case with a lav mic and a dead cat for the mic if you want. And also my helmet I mentioned on a previous video is a little over 4 years old now, so I've just ordered a new helmet. I've gone for another HJC, actually a carbon one this time, which is called the Carbon Bleer. It's carbon, and it's got a couple of red accents on the lid as well, which I like a bit of red on my helmet. And yeah, hopefully when that comes I'll get the cameras all set up and the new radio mic tucked away. At the moment on this helmet, I don't know whether you can see on the right hand side, just here I've got the radio mic just clipped underneath the outside and the inner shell, and that seems to work now. But what I'm going to do is on the back of the new HJC RPHA 11 helmet that's coming, actually has a slot in the back of it for a intercom. So what I'm going to do is use that space to put the receiver so it's not on the side of the helmet, and then it'll be tucked out the way and nice and neat. So yeah, I might do a video on setting that helmet up if anyone's interested, how to get the perfect camera but also the perfect mic setup. Leave a comment below if you want to see that, and I'll happily do one as soon as the new lid comes. So it's a lovely evening, we're on a lovely bike, and I'll be doing a few videos on this bike. I think it deserves that with its off-road capability, and also just how versatile and usable this bike is as an everyday bike, which is what it is. I think it could be your only bike that you've got in the garage. So if you've got a couple of bikes and you don't use one and you're thinking about slimming down and just getting one, then this could be it. Feels very light, very flickable, and yeah, I quite like it, as you can tell. So yeah, so I'm off work for 10 days, and this bike I have for a week. So what I'm going to do is get out when I can, if not during the day. I'd like to get a decent trip in actually, and we could use that as one of the Sunday ride series routes to do on this bike. I think it would be nice to do on an adventure tour like this. Now the 900 Rally Pro, I think they do a Rally and a Rally Pro, a little bit more money, but I think you get spoke wheels with that and it's a bit more off-road focused, which probably would be the type of bike if you've got more off-roading to do. But I think for the general day-to-day bike, you know, 80% road, 20% off-road, I think this really suits, and the price point hits the mark. I've not ridden the BMW F750 GS, I think it is, but I plan to. So, and one other thing coming to the channel next week, I'm actually going to test the Royal Enfield 650 Interceptor. And one of my subscribers asked me if I would do a review on it, so yeah, so I've got that all booked in, and that'll be coming out probably towards the end of next week when I get that done. So stay tuned for that. Another classic. And yeah, so I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this bike as much as possible this evening. So yeah, if you aren't a subscriber to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you want to be notified of future videos coming up, then hit that bell button, ding that bell. And if you are a subscriber already, thank you very much for your support to the channel over the years and however long you've been with me. But I fully appreciate it, guys. So yeah, I'll catch you on another video with the Triumph Tiger 850 Sport. Cheers, guys. Talk to you later.